Welcome back, my fellow dwarves and miners. No leaf lovers here, thank God. Today I've got quite a video, so I've not posted in a couple of weeks, and there is good reason. I have been vigorously trying to figure out just what the best XP yield in this game is. So you get XP for pretty much everything. You mine a mineral, you get XP. You kill an enemy, you get XP. Primary objective, secondary objective, pretty much everything give you some form of XP. But I was trying to power level, trying to sort of promote prestige, whatever, a couple of my classes, and I just felt like sometimes I was getting like 4,000 XP and I was going nowhere. And then other times I was getting like 10, 15, 20,000, and it was frustrating me. So I set myself a little challenge, if you will, to figure out just what the best XP yields are, in what modes and, you know, what conditions. These are the rules that I set myself. So I played 7 of every mission type. That's elimination, egg hunt, mining expedition, there's on-site refinery, point extraction, salvage operations, escort duty. I don't know if I already said that. Every mission type, 7 of each, on each hazard level. And by each hazard level, I mean level 1, 2, and 3. There's a reason for this. I'll explain in just a minute. I just wanted to see if, for example, on hazard level 1, you could complete a mission in 5 minutes and get 5,000 XP. That would, per minute of your time, be better than if you was on hazard level 3 and taking 20 minutes for 7,000 XP. So that's what I wanted to figure out. And honestly, I got some rather interesting results, I won't lie. So on each hazard level, I had a crazy amount of differences in terms of XP. I mean, just talking hazard level 1, the lowest XP yield I got on there was 3,333 XP. Okay, a pretty crappy game, if I do say so myself. And all of these numbers, by the way, are without any double XP. We'll talk about that as well, but I did all my calculations without double XP because I had to throw it off. Anyway, the highest I got in hazard 1 was 11,531, and so that's like a 8,000 XP difference. And what was the difference? Well, that's what we'll get into. There's about a million things. This video could be quite long, so without further ado, let's actually get into talking about all these XP yields. Right, there's going to be timestamps for everything, and I just want to be open and upfront as it is. If you are looking, okay, if you've clicked on this video just looking for the best game mode, the best whatevers for XP, all I can say is escort duty is what I found easily the best XP wise. It doesn't take too long. Sometimes you get like 2 phases, so it's fairly quick. That I was always consistently getting the most XP. Second sort of best, I would say, is mining expedition, which doesn't seem it because a lot of times it can be rather quick, but if you get one of them mining expeditions that is the sort of 2 or 3 foot icon, meaning that it's probably going to take longer, it's a larger area, then you will be getting a ton of XP. The least XP yield I got by a mile was egg hunt. I don't know why, because often you pick an egg, you get a swarm, you get another egg, get another swarm. There's 6 eggs in total. They can be quite lengthy. It would pretty much get me 3 to 5,000 XP a time. I'm not sure why it's like this, but I would avoid egg hunt if you can. If it's your favourite game mode, obviously, you know, go ahead. But, you know, it is what I found anyway, and your results may be different. You know, the larger the result pool, you know, if I was to try every sort of mission type 100 times on each thing, we would get a more definitive answer. But for time's sake, I mean, 30, 40 hours of doing this was already quite enough. So, right, and another thing, killing hostiles is, I mean, it's pretty much pointless. I'm not saying don't kill anything. You know, if there's one of them big old, you know, goth titty girlfriends in front of you, you do what you got to do. This is tested off just over 150 games, I believe. That's just quick math off my head, so it's probably incredibly wrong. But over 150 games, I found that I rarely got much more than a 1 times multiplier XP on my kills or the team kills. And what that means, for those that don't quite understand, is if you kill 100 enemies, you're going to get around about 100 XP for those enemies. Sometimes you'll get a little bit more. It's more like a 1.1 times multiplier. I don't know exactly, I haven't worked out exactly, but That's roughly what it is. There's been games where as a team we've killed 300 enemies, we've got around about 350 XP for it, which isn't great. I mean, it's XP, you take it, don't you? XP is XP, but it's not great. So I wouldn't sit there just letting swarms come for you over and over and over again and grinding that. It's not worth it, trust me on that one. But what is worth it is the minerals. Mine absolutely everything you see if you can. It doesn't matter what it is. Nitra, even Morkite, right? I still need to do some testing on this, so if I do test it and my information's wrong, I will update in the comments. But as far as I'm aware, if you have one of the Dark Morkite missions and you've filled your quota, you've got all the Dark Morkite you need, if you carry on still mining the other stuff you see, that will go towards your XP. Again, that could be wrong, and I will update it very soon if it is, but from what I can tell, that is how it works. Mine everything though, there's no reason not to. Even if you have already 600 Nitro and you simply don't need more, mine it, because the XP boost and yields on the minerals are roughly doubled in terms of XP. So if, as a team, if you mine 1,000, whatevers, you'll get roughly 2 to 2.1, 2.2 thousand XP. It's incredibly beneficial. I've had games, and I noticed when I was having these 3,000 XP games, it was because no one was mining anything, and most of them were solo. That's another thing. Try not to play solo. Join, a quick play match, whatever. I guarantee 4 dwarf eyes are better than 1 dwarf set of eyes. Four, it won't be 4 dwarf. 8 dwarf eyes are better than 2 dwarf eyes. That's it. That's the saying right there. Gandhi said that. It's just better. 4 dwarves, 4 people are going to be able to see more minerals. Different classes are going to be able to get different said minerals. I mean, if you're an engineer, yes, you've got your platform gunner, for example. If something's right on the ceiling, you simply can't get to it. If you've got a scout vote, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. Trust me, always host an online game or join an online game. You'll just be getting more minerals and more kills, so there's always going to be more XP there. All of my low XP yields were when I did it solo. Simple as that. Less enemies, less eyesight, if you will. This is a pretty obvious one. Doing the primary and secondary objectives is the most XP you're going to get. I probably, in my 300-400 games I've played, maybe twice I've not done the secondary objective, and I think both them times were because I just couldn't find the fossil. The bloody fossil. I swear, they stick them right at the top of a cathedral size cliff, and you just can't get to them or see them. It's very frustrating. But they're the only times. Other than that, do it. You get between, and this is very, very rough estimate because it is such a varied amount, but between 2 to 7 or 8,000 XP for a primary objective, and about half of that for a secondary objective. That varies really based on a number of factors. I suppose we'll go over that now. Right. It's going to be a lengthy talk video, so I apologise for that, but I will do a little roundup at the end, and again, if you want to just skip to that to hear the information, then do that. So, the factors are, before each mission, you'll have, obviously, your hazard level, which is 1, 2, or 3, which will affect things in terms of enemy spawn rates and other things like that, and how much health you have after reviving. A plethora of things. But then you also have the length that the overall cave or mission is going to be, and then the danger, and these are in the form of length being like a 3 footstep type thing. I'll have all this on screen, and then the danger level again is in like a 3-tiered thing. If you can find a mission that is 3-tiered danger level and 3-tiered length, you're going to get more XP. Simple as that. It just gives you a better percentage bonus of XP. I can't tell you exactly how much, again I haven't figured it out, but it's a noticeable amount where it would be worth your time for an extra few minutes. I would avoid the 1 length and 1 danger level ones if possible. If you've obviously got an objective or a quest to do, fair enough, but if you can, I would avoid them because they just do not yield that much. You're getting like 2, 3, 4,000 XP in total. It's not great at all, and so if you can, please avoid them. Another big one, doing events is just absolutely massive. There are so many events, machine events, there's the Tritonite event, there's the one where you collect the yellow things, I don't even know what that's called. Do events, there's no reason not to most of the time. It'll take a couple of minutes, you get like 1,500 XP for most of them. That's a good amount of XP. You know, that's a good chunk of a level you're going up there. There are some I would avoid. There have been times, especially on escort duty, and I don't know why, but the amount of times that the big leaf thing that opens up that you can destroy that summons new leaf heads, I'm sure someone's going to know what it's called. I have them sort of appear so many times in escort duty, and it's killed me off a couple of times when I'm trying to fight them, and I'm trying to fight a couple of big old Praetorians, and I'm trying to complete the objective. So I would advise that maybe, you know, if you get in a situation like that, just finish a mission, get on board, don't do it. But other than that, most of the time I would. The only one I'd be cautious of is the tower one, where there's 3 stages of a tower and they're shooting lasers at you and all sorts. Quite often randoms don't seem to fully understand how it works, which is fair enough. I certainly didn't the first few times. So if you're with randoms, and you can tell if they're lower level or aren't too familiar if they've not promoted yet. If you've got a promoted dwarf with you, you know that there's a good chance they know what they're doing. But with randoms, if they look like they're struggling, they're going down, maybe just get out of there, revive your team, and get on a drop pod. Because, you know, as always, an alive dwarf is better than a dead one. That's just simple. Right, now I'm going to talk about the average XP yields of each hazard level, because this is where it gets fairly interesting. This is like the sort of cusp of it, you know, this is what people want to know. So, on hazard level 1, I had an average XP yield of 5,825 XP. And again, this has taken all of the information of the 50 odd games, putting it in, getting an average from it, and that is the average I got. So just under 6,000 XP, which, you know, isn't awful. But I can tell you now, I got a lot more low games than I did high. Okay, the 3 or 4 really high XP games were what's kind of balanced that out. But if I didn't get lucky and get them high XP games, it would probably be down in the 3,000 to 4,000. So just bear that in mind. And then the hazard level 2 had a average XP yield of 7,278 for me, which is a noticeable increase. That increase is enough, especially considering it's not particularly difficult to go from hazard level 1 to 2. Okay, a lot of new players, I guess, me myself, I was a bit worried. I didn't want to die. I didn't quite have a grip of the game. Trust me, go on hazard level 2. Might be a little bit more difficult if your skill level isn't there. And that's not me, you know, picking mad beef with people. That's just honesty. Sometimes, you know, we like to play it on easier levels. There's nothing wrong with that. But try hazard level 2. You're going to be getting a, 2,000-3,000 more XP. It's just worth it. You know what I mean? Especially if you play with other people, you're going to do just all right. Now, the hazard level 3, it's 8,661 XP. So roughly just 1,000, maybe 1,500 more. Is it noticeably different or noticeably worth it? No. I used to always play on hazard level 2 until I got comfortable with the difficulty, and then I increased it. Hazard level 3 is a noticeable difference. I'm not saying it's brutally hard or anything. There is a definite difference in enemy spawns, which is something I'm currently working on about how they spawn and all that, but enemy spawn locations, amount of enemy spawns, damage overall taken. There is a large difference here, and don't let anyone tell you there isn't. I see a lot of, you know, as great as this community is, I've seen a couple of YouTubers that I've checked out that seem, I don't know, I don't want to bash anyone, but, you know, they're saying that you have to play on hazard level 4 and 5, and sometimes we don't want to do that. Sometimes we just want a chill experience, because this game is just absolutely brilliant, and to experience that fully, without the danger of constant Praetorians, you know, sticking a finger up you, is sometimes quite nice. So, out of all them, hazard level 2 is just the best, or is it? See what I did there? I gave you a little, you know, a little switcheroo. We also haven't looked at times. This is a big thing, so hear me out here. Hazard level 1, roughly 27 minutes to complete. Okay, that's lengthy, real lengthy. That's what she said. Hazard level 2, 23 minutes to complete. And then hazard level 3 took me 21 minutes to complete on average. You're probably thinking, well, as it gets harder, you seem to be getting better or quicker. I can't do that. You absolutely can. You know what the difference was and what I noticed? When I was on hazard level 1, I was taking my time. I was going leisurely. I was getting all the minerals I could see. There was barely any threat. Life was good. Hazard level 2, I started to speed it up a bit. I started to get more worried because there was more enemies, so I kicked myself into gear. And hazard level 3 basically goes like this. I run in, I try not to kill anything, I just dodge around everything, collect minerals, deposit it, do my objective, get out of there, and that's why it's quicker. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily better. Honest to God, if you want the definitive answer of what you should play to get the best, hazard level 2, long escort duty missions. I guarantee you'll be getting the most XP out of any of them, okay? It's just simple as that. And I say this because, yeah, it's going to maybe take a little bit longer than hazard level 3, but you're a lot more likely to survive, which is the main thing. If you don't survive, you get next to nothing, okay? Always try and survive. That's just simply the best way. If you're confident enough to do hazard level 3, then go for it, but sometimes people aren't, and that's absolutely fine. And the reason I haven't spoke about level 4 and 5 for one, because I haven't even tried it yet. I do a lot of level 4, but I haven't even done the assignment to get level 5 yet. I probably should get to it. I say that though because hazard level 4 is difficult, okay? I'm saying this as someone that has played first-person shooters and games like this, co-op shooters, all my life. Hazard level 4 is very difficult at times. You get bombarded and the fail rate is a lot higher. And so do you want that risk reward? That's why I haven't spoke about it, because most people will be doing level 1, 2 and 3. But in future I will do a video to compare level 4 and 5 and deep dives and all that. So bear that in mind. So to wrap it all up, okay, if you've come here just to hear the end review of XP, to wrap it up, do level 2 hazard missions on escort duty. Absolutely. The XP yields here, you know, they're so varied in all of these, but this is a good choice to go with. If you're trying to power level a couple of levels, you've got no objectives to do, find an escort duty on hazard level 2 and you're going to do just fine. That's it right there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it was a bit of a longer one. I don't know what kind of gameplay is going to be in the background, but, you know, there's always rock and stone. If you liked, feel free to like or subscribe. There's going to be more DRG videos coming very soon. This time they won't be left 2 weeks. I've got some guides coming soon as well for each of the classes, so stay tuned. As always, guys, rock and stone.